Welcome back to Tuesday's Thought. As you know, we've been looking at things that make us stagnant in our Christian walk for the month of November. And we're going to continue tonight, and we're going to look at the lack of patience. We're going to look at how not being patient, not waiting on the Lord, can definitely be a big issue in us not progressing the way that we ought to in our Christian walk. So, patience is the ability to cheerfully bear an unbearable situation, or even in a person who is unbearable, but you can actually stand them because of the patience. That's what patience is, but we're not talking about patience, we're talking about the lack of it and the negativity that can happen when we are not patient. Impatient is restlessness or short of temper, especially under irritation, delay, or opposition. And one of our big things with being impatient is delay. We don't like when things are delayed. We like things right away, sooner the better, quickly, especially if something you want, and you want it to happen right away. So when we're impatient, we're not willing to wait for something. Not willing to wait for something to happen, we become annoyed at the delays, and we can lose our composure, we get uneasy, we're restless, and we're just not happy. We're not happy, we're hasty, we're passionate about something, it's not happening as soon as I would like, and sometimes we have negative reactions where someone could say, wow, that person's really impatient, or sometimes it's subtle things that we do that shows that we're impatient. And it's something as Christians, we have to be patient. We don't know when a lot of things are going to happen, and it goes right into faith, right? And so if I'm not patient, I am going to miss out, because I might do my own thing because I can't wait. Lord, I'm praying, I'm asking you for this particular thing. I need it at such and such a time, and that's my timeline. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's a deadline, that it has to happen that time, but my timeline is, Lord, I need it by such and such a time. And when I see the time is coming up based on my timeline and I'm not getting it, then I start getting impatient. And I might get so impatient that I do it my way. I decide to not wait anymore on the Lord because he is taking too long. He's not giving me what I want, or he's not responding fast enough. I have things to do. Things got to get done right away. God's just not quick enough for me. So sometimes we lose our composure and we do things that get us in a lot of trouble. We see Saul did that. King Saul couldn't wait for the man of God to get there and decided that he was going to take the place of the man of God and do that sacrifice. And we see what happened. His kingdom was ripped out of his hands, right? So it is very important for us to be patient and to wait on the Lord. And not just to wait on the Lord, but to wait on each other. Because sometimes things are just not going to happen in our time frame. In fact, more often than not, things probably don't happen in our time frame. Romans 8, verse 24 to 25 and 28 says, For we are saved by hope. But hope that is seen is not hope. For what a man seeth, Why doth he yet hope for? But if we hope for that we see not, then do we with patience wait for it. And I jump down to verse 28 that says, and we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are the called according to his purpose. Verse 25 says, but if we hope for that we see not, then do we with patience wait for it. So if I'm hoping for something, if I'm praying and I'm saying, Lord, I want this thing, then I am supposed to wait on him, whether he's going to give it to me or not give it to me, because it's not always that we're going to get all that we want, as we already know. But I need to have patience. I need to wait. I'm hoping, I'm waiting, I'm being patient, I'm occupying my time with something positive while I am waiting. Because sometimes we get into that place of stagnation because we do things that we're not supposed to do because we can't wait. And now we're stuck in our situation. And sometimes don't even realize that we are stuck in our situation. Because we are so impatient, we go ahead and do things our way. And then when things are not working out, we're not even cognizant of the fact that, you know what? I didn't wait on God. I did it my way. And now my way is proven to be an issue for me. But a lot of times we don't even go back and do that evaluation to see that you didn't wait. But then we complain and we murmur and all of that because we decide to jump the gun. We decide to speed it up because our society is all about quick, quick, quick. And in our Christian walk, we want God to be that quick, quick, quick. Hurry up and do it, Jesus. I can't wait. I want it right now. And he doesn't have to do it in our time. But he will do it on time when it needs to be done. My timeline is not his. His is always right. Mine might be off. A lot of times it is off. 2 Corinthians 6, verse 3-4 says, give no offense in anything, that the ministry be not blamed, but in all things approving ourselves as the ministers of God, in much patience. It says in affliction, in necessity, in distress. But the first thing it says is in much patience. Some of us are nowhere close to patience, much less much patience. Some of us is just quick in everything. Quick, 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 got to be done right away. But it's saying much patience. And if we don't have it, we need to ask for it. And I know, if you think about it, well, Lord, give me patience. But we know that if we're going to get patience, then there has to be some trial to show that, oh, yes, I am getting more patient. I am improving. So you have to go through something to know whether you're patient or not. And some of us don't want to go through those some things, whatever they are. But it's required of us that we be patient. 1 Timothy 6, verse 10-11 says, for the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith, and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. But thou, O man of God, flee these things, and follow after righteousness, godliness, faith, love, patience, and meekness. These are the things we want to follow after. We want to follow after patience. Wait on the Lord. be of good courage. The haste is not going to get you there any quicker. If it's not God's will, your haste is not going to make the situation any better. If God says wait, then that's what we ought to do. And what's wait? Sometimes you don't get an answer. So what do? You keep praying and you wait. That's waiting. I didn't get an answer, so I'm just going to keep praying until I get an answer. That's waiting. But I'm not going to jump and do my own thing. I might have to ask some people to pray with me, to encourage me. But jumping to do my own thing, not good. So we need to have patience. We need to have patience with our walk. Patience with ourselves, patience with our relatives or loved ones or family or church brothers and sisters. It's very important that we're not so quick at everything. And yes, it's our way right away. That's what we want. But is that what God wants for us? If you're not patient, you can't be the leader that God wants you to be. Because people are going to do things where you have to be patient with them. If you're not patient, you can't be the Christian that God wants you to be, because your brothers and your sisters are going to do things that warrants patience from you. And if you're not doing that, you're missing out, and there's stagnation. It's time to move forward. It's time to let the flow happen again. And so we need to be patient. We need to trust God in all of our situations, all of our life circumstances. Even though we would prefer for things to happen in a certain way, we need to trust Him in all of our circumstances. And that means wait on the Lord. Be patient in your situation. Doesn't mean that the situation is nice. It doesn't mean it's positive. But we as Christians need to be patient, as Christ is patient with us. He's extremely patient with us. And so we ought to be patient with each other. We need to trust in Him. We need to wait on Him. We need to wait and listen. Wait and listen so that we can hear what He's saying. Once again, you're in service, the sermon's going on, but you're so impatient and so caught up in, I didn't get it yet and I should have gotten it, that you miss out on all that Christ is saying to you. So, saints, brothers, sisters, friends, let us wait and be patient. And some of us, we're only going to know if we're patient if we're tried. In fact, all of us will know the level of patience that we have if we're tried. We have to rejoice in hope, and we have to be what? Patient in tribulation. And with that, we have to be constant in prayer. If you lack patience, you need to be constant in prayer. Romans 12, verse 12. We need to rejoice in hope. We need to be patient in tribulation. Tribulation's not a fun thing. It's not something we enjoy. But God's telling us we need to be patient even in tribulation. All right? That's when we need patience, when things are not going our way, when we are saying it doesn't feel good, it's not pleasant. But that's also when we need to be patient. So do the evaluation on yourself. Check, are any of these three things so far that we've talked about? We've talked about bitterness. We've talked about holding on to anger. We've talked about just not being patient, not waiting on God. Are you entertaining those things? Are you experiencing those things? And if that's the case, then it's time to get rid of them and to do whatever it takes to get rid of them. I said it last week, pray more, fast more, reach out and ask for help if that's what you need. because it's time to move forward and to come up higher. God bless you, and I'll see you next week.